Why does Aries always have to move first? Why does slowing down feel unbearable to them? And what happens to Aries when there's nothing left to fight, nothing left to chase, nothing left to prove? If Aries is so fearless, so bold, so confident, why does stillness feel like a threat? If you are an Aries, or if you've ever loved one, stay until the end. Because what you're about to hear explains why Aries keeps pushing forward even when they're exhausted, why rest feels uncomfortable, and why stopping feels dangerously close to disappearing. Aries is not afraid of failure. They are not afraid of confrontation. They are not even afraid of loss. That's the story everyone tells. But it's incomplete. What Aries fears is far more unsettling, because it hides beneath their courage, their speed, and their fire. Aries fears becoming irrelevant. People see Aries as strong, impulsive, competitive, and unafraid. They are described as leaders, initiators, warriors, the ones who charge forward while others hesitate. Aries is known for action, momentum, and bravery. But that image is only the surface. Aries doesn't move fast because they love chaos. They move fast because slowing down feels dangerous. To understand Aries psychology, you have to look beneath the action, beneath the confidence, beneath the instinct to go first. And there, you'll find Aries' deepest fear. Aries is terrified of falling behind. Not behind in success alone, but behind in relevance, attention, importance, and value. Aries fears the moment when they are no longer the one people look to, no longer the spark that starts things, no longer the energy that drives the room. They don't fear losing. They fear not being chosen. Somewhere early in life, emotionally or psychologically, Aries learns a subtle but powerful rule. To be seen, you must act. To be valued, you must move. To be loved, you must be strong. Whether anyone said it directly or not, Aries felt it. Praise came after action. Recognition followed initiative. Attention arrived when they were bold, loud, or impressive. So Aries adapted. They learned to move before they could be replaced. To speak before they could be overlooked. To start before someone else took the lead. Over time, movement became identity. Aries doesn't ask, "Who am I?" They ask, "What am I doing next?" Stillness feels unfamiliar. Silence feels uncomfortable. Waiting feels like fading. This is why Aries struggles so deeply with slowing down. When there's no challenge to face, no fire to chase, no adrenaline to ride, something unsettling creeps in. A quiet thought Aries rarely admits. If I stop, do I still matter? So Aries keeps going. Starting new things. Taking risks. Jumping ahead. Creating momentum even when their body is tired and their emotions are behind. Not because they love exhaustion. But because stopping feels like losing their edge. This fear often shows up as impatience. Aries hates delays, hesitation, and stagnation. They push others to move faster. They push themselves even harder. They feel frustrated when things don't progress immediately. What others call impulsive, Aries experiences as survival. Because waiting gives the fear room to breathe. The fear that if Aries slows down, someone else will take their place. The fear that if Aries rests, the world will move on without them. The fear that their value depends on always being in motion. This is also why Aries struggles with vulnerability. Slowing down means feeling. Feeling means confronting doubt, insecurity, and uncertainty, things Aries would rather outrun than sit with. So they turn discomfort into action. Anger becomes fuel. Restlessness becomes ambition. Fear becomes fire. But fire burns fast. Over time, Aries begins to feel an exhaustion they don't know how to name. They may feel irritable, restless, or unsatisfied even after achievements. The win doesn't last long. The excitement fades quickly. They're already looking for the next thing. Because achievement without rest becomes hollow. Aries often looks confident on the outside, but internally they're measuring themselves constantly. Am I doing enough? Am I ahead? Am I still relevant? They don't ask, am I okay? They ask, what's next? In love, this fear takes on a different form. Aries loves passionately, quickly, and intensely. They pursue, initiate, and invest with their whole heart. But beneath that fire lives an unspoken question. If I stop trying, will you still want me? Aries fears that without effort, excitement, and pursuit, love will fade. So they keep the energy high. They lead. They impress. They fight for attention, sometimes without realizing they're doing it. Stillness in love feels risky. When relationships slow down, Aries may feel restless or disconnected. Not because they don't care, but because quiet intimacy doesn't give them the feedback they're used to. No applause. No competition. No clear signal that they're still chosen. So Aries may create movement where none is needed. Arguments. Challenges. New goals. Anything to avoid the silence where doubt can grow. The tragedy of Aries' deepest fear is this. They want to be valued for who they are, but they're afraid that who they are isn't enough without constant action. So they keep proving. Keep pushing. Keep running. Until the body gets tired before the mind allows it. Healing for Aries does not come from winning more. It does not come from moving faster or starting bigger. Healing begins when Aries slowly questions a belief they've lived by for most of their life. What if my value doesn't disappear when I stop? For Aries, this idea feels unsettling. Almost threatening. As if slowing down means losing momentum, identity, and relevance all at once. But healing asks Aries to practice a different kind of courage. The courage to stay still. The courage to rest without guilt. The courage to exist without proving. This doesn't mean Aries loses their fire. Their drive remains. Their leadership remains. Their boldness remains. What changes is the fear underneath. When Aries learns that stillness does not erase them, something softens. They begin to feel instead of chase. They begin to rest without panic. They begin to trust that they don't have to be first to be chosen. Aries doesn't need to stop being strong. They need to believe that even in moments of rest, silence, and pause, they still matter. And for Aries, that belief is not weakness. It is the bravest thing they will ever face. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, you're not alone. This is part of a deeper series exploring the fears each zodiac sign carries beneath the surface. Share it with an Aries who never stops moving, even when they're exhausted.